Lada waiting for him on the grid. Down at the back of the grid, Andy, one of the big stories in qualifying was the crash of Hugo Vallant. Said at the time the damage looked so bad that we were very unlikely to see the car. The mechanics, you can see underneath, still trying to fix the floor of the suspension, the bodywork, have not left the track since qualifying at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and the car is on the grid, which is quite remarkable. First of all, we see this is him losing the rear end plate of his car, the outside of the wing, and then when he turns in on the grass, bit of a moment, he's got it, and then finally it gets away as it drops onto the grass again. The tank slaps its way really heavily into the barriers, and that was a big hit.
It was. I mean, that corner has caught a lot of drivers out. We saw, as you said, Martin, 3 drivers in qualifying. I think just put a wheel on the grass there, just slightly got disorientated with his turning point, very bumpy, lost the rear of the car, and that was it. He was just a passenger from then on. We saw Lopez get away with what would have been a similar accident. He was very lucky. You can never really tell quite what the car's going to do at that speed once you lose it. It's just a matter of reacting as quickly as possible. And you know, it's always a very nerve-wracking time. You know, Valente sat in the car now. He wants to focus on the race, and he's not even sure if the car's going to actually make the start. You know, the details take a lot of time as well.
Well, here the car has run, so we now wait to see exactly how much they can get it sorted. Well, Jose Maria Lopez had his own major moments in Q3 as well. This, the individual lap. Look at that. It was only when he was facing the inside barriers that he actually got off the throttle and onto the brake.
Yeah, I mean, it went on the way in. We think the cars were being trimmed more and more, and there we go again, another similar, you know, accident.
And that's Vallant's teammate, Dusan Borkovic. That's the other Campos car. Not so badly damaged, luckily. Otherwise, maybe only one of them would have been out.
Well, he saw Huffy on his fast lap, and he's working the wheel on the turn-in. It's bumpy. They're trimming the downforce, and, you know, they're going to get caught out from time to time. Interested to see how it will be in the race.
Well, there are lots of different setup options on a World Touring car. One of the most critical that we focus on here is wheel camber. Now, essentially, that's how vertical the wheel is compared to the ground. What you will usually find is that, especially a front-wheel drive car, the bottom of the tyre sticks out further than the top, gives you negative camber. When the car leans in a corner, that gives you more of the tyre on the road. What that does, unfortunately, is builds a lot of temperature and pressure into the tyre, and the belting, the cording, the composites underneath that build up the carcass of the tyre can overheat. And here, especially when it's running on that right-hand edge, the inside edge of the tyre on the straight, that can build in heat that you never get rid of, and it's often an inside tyre failure. So here, Yokohama have given minimum pressure, minimum temperature for the tyre blankets, and minimum and maximum camber advice to the teams to keep them within safe working parameters. Of course, you always want maximum grip, but Andy Preyer, that's no use if your tyre doesn't make it all the way through the race.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the alchemy of a tyre is something that's very hard to understand, and the teams, the more camber they run, the lower pressure they run, the faster they'll go. It's a compromise. Do you push it that little bit further, or do you take the safest option and back off the camber and pressure a little bit? And it depends on your qualifying position. You know, Citroen at the front there with Ivan probably will be a little bit safe on the cambers. Maybe guys midfield will just, you know, up the limits a little bit, and you might see, like a few years ago, the odd puncture for the front left. I mean, we saw, I think it was Menu and Ivan a few years ago. They lost in the Chevrolet. They lost the front left, so, and I can understand why. This circuit's very hard on the front left. The corners are really banked, long steady state, on the power early, pushing to the exit, and the tyre's getting really stressed here.
Well, those of you who watched qualifying yesterday will have seen Gianni Morbidelli claim pole. However, he had exceeded speed limits during first qualifying under yellow flags, and so he's been dropped a 5-place group penalty. He'll now start 6th with Ivan Muller.
Yokohama, your tire. Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz.
Starting to clear.
3 minutes to go. We got 3 minutes.
So cars clearing, or teams clearing the grid. Gianni Morbidelli down here. Pole in qualifying yesterday, but dropped back to 6th on the grid for not quite slowing down enough for a yellow flag in the first qualifying period. Ben Constantinos is down there on the grid with him. And let's hear what our race winner in Hungary has to say.
Fastest man in qualifying and taking provisional pole was Gianni Morbidelli, but Gianni dropped to 6th position on the grid. A frustration for you?
Absolutely yes. I'm not agree about the decision that they took. This is the decision of I have to accept, but of course I did something wrong in the Q1, but I'm not agree for the penalty that they gave me.
You have a good car though for the race.
Yeah, for sure, but it will be not easy, you know, to start in the first row and start in the first means a big difference.
Thanks very much.
Well, it is a big difference. You're right, though, about the slipstream here. And, you know, an Italian who spent a lot of time racing at Monza will know about how to, as they say in America, work the draft. You know, use the cars in front and use their slipstream. And it's not about being at the front at the start, it's being in a position to get to the front in the last couple of laps. And that's, you know, 13 laps of manoeuvring to get into place for the last two. Alongside him, Tom Chilton in another Chevrolet. So we've got the Citroens at the front of the grid, but the Chevys were in amongst them in terms of raw speed. Hugo Vallant definitely was before his crash. Tom Coronel, Tom Chilton, Gianni Morbidelli were all mingling with our three factory Citroen drivers. So it's by no means certain that the Citroens are going to run away and hide. If they couldn't do it in outright pace in qualifying, then they may not be able to do it in a race.
True. I think, you know, 60 kilos is a lot to carry around here. I think that the Citroen is the better car at the moment, mechanically in terms of handling, but I think that the Chevy is very slippery. Very interesting point also you made about the Italian drivers. They are always good at slipstreaming, from Ennepegusa to Imola to Monza. These guys have grown up slipstreaming, and Italians are always good at it. So, yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds. I'm very interested to also see how they are in the slipstream, whether they lose more grip in the corners than they gain in the slipstream as well. So, you know, with more aero now, you've got more to lose, and I'll be interested to see, you know, how these guys can actually follow in this first few laps.
Well, Ivan Muller, the man on pole, ahead of Sebastian Loeb and Jose Maria Lopez and Tom Coronel on row 2 at the grid. So he is the one who will lead them around on this formation lap.
Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz.
On board with Thiago Montero, final adjustments, that extra little cinch of the seatbelts to keep you in the seat. And if you wonder why seatbelts are so tight on a racing car, Andy Prio, it's because you don't, like you do sometimes in a road car, Charlie Lamb there from Schnitzer in at Royal Motorsport.
Team bosses, yeah.
You don't hang on to the steering and the pedals to keep yourself in the car like you would do in a road car. You know, you have to be, your arms and legs have to be completely free to control the car, so your body has to be pinned to the seat.
Also, your body is the connection with the car, and not only that, but you also want to make sure you're secure. It's a dangerous track, Martin. This is fast, and these guys are really getting fired up now. Last car's on the grid.
Hugo Vallant joins the back of the grid. We are ready to go. Ivan Muller and Sebastian Loeb, the front row of the grid. Then Tom Coronel in the blue Chevy and Jose Maria Lopez, the third of the Total Citroens. Away they go. Round 9 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Great start from Coronel. Slow away from the championship leader, Jose Maria Lopez, and there's a Honda alongside Tom Chilton. Loeb is threatening, and Coronel is going to be hung out on the outside. It's a right-hand corner coming up. Coronel's got to tuck back into the queue, and he braves it out. And is he getting in front of Loeb? He does, up to second. That was brave, ballsy stuff.
I would have done exactly the same. He had the inside corner. Yeah, there's a bit of, I don't know if the guys are running wide on the exit there. I tell you what, Tommy could be the man here. That was a nice move, put his car on the outside, change the direction inside for the next corner, and Loeb got shuffled.
Lopez up to third, Loeb down to fourth. So again, Loeb losing ground on the championship leader, Jose Maria Lopez, right behind Coronel. This is the kilometre-long straight. That's Rob Huff going by Dusan Borkovic in the Chevrolet. So that's quite impressive turn of speed. And here comes Lopez. And behind, that's Montero having a look at Loeb. And Lopez goes through. And Montero doesn't get by Sebastian Loeb. Hubb's still inside Dusan Borkovic and picks up the place, and that is 11th place for Rob Hubb. So that's a place he's picked off on the first lap.
Quite surprised that these two Citroens have managed to get past Tommy in the slipstream. Mind you, Tommy had a lot of wing yesterday, and he wasn't actually the fastest in the middle sector. Gianni Morbidelli was the man in the middle sector, and he's unfortunately slipped back off the start. So, you know, still, you know, 12, 13 laps to go here. That's the first lap time past the pits, but Citroën got themselves in a very strong position with Lopez following Muller and acting as his wingman.
Well, of course, he's not, is he? What he's doing is limiting the damage that Muller can do to his points. At the moment, Jose Maria Lopez has yet to score a 0, and that is what has kept him a full race distance away from his teammates. Sebastian Loeb in third. Well, his job now is to be the cork in the bottle, isn't it? Hold up Montero and Chilton and Bernardi and Mikulits and Tarquini and Morbid and all comers, and that's going to produce some great racing behind as they're all stuck behind Loeb.
You know what, Martin, right now, all you're thinking is your own race, and I want to go forward. I want to win. I know what Ivan's going to be thinking. He's looking in his mirror going, damn, I've got Lopez in my rearview mirror here, and unfortunately he'd be thinking about trying to pull away, but it's not going to be possible. What I think this race is going to unfold, though, it's still the first couple of laps. It's going to close up. Guys are going to have different levels of tyre degradation, the odd mistake here and there, and I think it's going to bunch up, and then I think the two Citroens are going to pull away, but then there's going to be a big fight behind.
Well, here's the big fight with Thiago Montero in 5th place. Great start from Thiago after a couple of seasons where, if there wasn't bad luck, there was no luck at all in his car. He seems to be really having a good time this year. 2 podiums the last time out, or in Hungary, and he's now up to 5th position. Tom Chilton right behind him, couldn't quite get by. Now, what about Muller and Lopez? When is Jose Maria going to make a pass?
He's looking faster as well. Don't forget, he's following. So this is not an easy job for Ivan. How hard is he going to defend against Lopez? Who knows? But, you know, Lopez is going to pick up a free half to 3/4 of a second in the slipstream, and Ivan's going to have to push and squeeze to try and pull away. And, you know, Ivan's a clever guy. He knows this is, you know, a relatively long race, and he's got to look after that front left. Unfortunately, Valente into the pits there.
And behind him, Dusan Borkovic as well. Both Campos cars were damaged in qualifying shunts. We saw both of those just before the race. They're both back in with problems. Borkovic out of 16th, Valente out of 19th. So Muller and Lopez 1 second away from Coronel and Loeb. And then Montero, Chilton, Bernani. We're on board with Tom Chilton looking inside at turn 9.
He looks faster. I think he'll get through. You know, the Chevrolet is very, very slippery, and actually Tom yesterday was very, very quick and was unlucky on one of his fastest laps in qualifying not to make the top 5, got caught with a slower car and, you know, in the slipstream. So Tom's been very, very quick this weekend, and he's looking quite racy, I would say, at the moment.
Well, floor loose on Valence's car, and Borkovic also with, I'm sure, knock-on problems from that incident. The Hondas looking closer to the pace in race trim than they were in qualifying. Muller and Lopez as close as you like. Coronel still not able to catch them. Sebastian Loeb just staying out of harm's reach. Thiago Montero's got his mirrors full, and we're 2 cars further back with Gabriele Tarquini, who's got Gianni Morbidelli breathing down his neck in another Chevrolet. So the cars really at this track for the first time all season looking almost even in terms of pace. Citroën aren't running away, and nobody else seems to have the upper hand either.
Yeah, the big races between, you know, 4th and 8th and 9th, 10th place, you know, with Morbidelli and Tarquini. I'm actually surprised Morbidelli's lost some places off the start, and he doesn't look mega racy at the moment. But Martini may have started with a slightly lower tyre pressure, you know, trying to look after the tyre and being clever. Who knows? You know, this race is going to unfold. We know the front tyres are going to get worked really hard. There's a couple of guys lining up there for a slipstream now. I think towards the middle to end of the race, people are going to start getting desperate, and then you're going to start seeing some quite ambitious moves.
Well, Chilton again with that black and white Chevrolet turning tighter inside Thiago Montero, and he's able to do that every lap. But Andy, is that going to use his tyres more than Montero, who's taking a more conventional line?
It is. I think also Tom's trying to get a little bit out of the toe to try and get a bit more air on the splitter to save the tyre. So he's running a slightly unconventional line and picking up some grip. It's going to be tough going into turn 10 and turn 9 and lining them up, because it's a fast commitment corner, and it's a long uphill stretch out of turn 5, so the car's sort of spread out, and then you sort of gain towards the end of the straight, and don't you take them into turn 9, it's going to take quite a ballsy move to do it, but I think that will happen later in the race.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things of this track, is you've got to be fully committed in your moves. Norbert Mikulic chips out wide, washed out underneath Mehdi Benani, or has he been asked to let Gabrielli through because Gabrielli's car was quicker? That didn't look like the place you'd do that. You would pull over on the straight and let him go.
Yeah, I think so. He looked maybe like he just missed his turning point, ran a little bit onto the dirty part of the track, understeer, and Gabrielli slipped through. You're right, Martin, it could possibly be a radio call, but I doubt it. You know, I think that was a slightly late turn-in from Mikulic there.
I think you're absolutely right. And even though it is banked, you sort of start going up the hill. As you said, you get into the dirty bit that's not got the grip, and then you do lose ground. You have to modulate the throttle a bit, or you just shoot off into the grass.
That front left tyre is really hot now, so it's not got a lot of grip.
No, indeed. With Tom Chilton still harassing Thiago Monteiro. That's the battle for 5th. Behind, Benani up to 7th, Tarquini to 8th, Mikulic down to 9th, Morbidelli in 10th place. They drop Rob Huff in the lead larder, 2.8 seconds behind them at the line. He's got Thompson behind him right at the back of your shot.
Yeah.
Monteiro is the man under pressure in this queue, isn't he, still?
He is. Tom's looking fast. It'd be interesting to see, Martin, as somebody's ran wide there. Was that Tom? I think Tom may have run wide out of the chicane there. But, you know, they're going to struggle. It looks like they're struggling to follow closely in the corners, to be honest. They're gaining in the slipstream, but, you know, getting up to the corner, they're losing front grip, which is a shame, seeing it slightly spread out now.
Looking down on the Honda of Thiago Monteiro, the black and white Chevrolet right behind. There he is, of Tom Chilton. This is lap 6 of 15. Here he comes. He gets closer every lap, doesn't he? But
see, that's the slipstream. You saw him draft up to behind Thiago. We know that they're struggling, the Honda, a little bit for you know, for pace around here. I don't know. Tom's going to have to make a move soon. If you know Thiago's making the car as wide as possible, it's not going to be easy to pass. We know that, but he's got to try and get past him to get to the next train. So yeah, he's going to start getting more and more frustrated, I would say. Yep. There's good old Enxler in the BMW, a long-time BMW man, and you know, very nice, nice driver, very nice guy.
And he's got 300 guests here from Liquiboli. They may be in Austria rather than Bavaria, but it is still his home race. 300 guests here as well for Honda, including lots of guys from R&D in Japan, who are the 50% funding part of this program for Honda's Civic World Touring Cars. So this is a race in which all the Honda Civic drivers would like to do especially well for their paintmasters from Japan. I have to say, they've chosen the right race weekend. They've come to somewhere nice and warm and sunny. They probably think it's been like this all year. Let's take a look again at the start. Good start from Tom Coronel, a little bit of wheel spin, but the Citroens have all had a problem getting away from the line this year, Andy. They all seem to make a decent start at this time.
Yep. So that's what happened. Loeb ran wide, got pushed wide by Tommy. Lopez benefited from that and managed to get up into P2. So that worked out nicely for Lopez, and Sebastian ended up in P4. So good aggressive move from Tommy there.
What happened to Morbidelli right in front? He was dropped away from the start by Tarquini. It wasn't hooked up properly off the grid, Morbidelli's black car. Through went Dusan Borkovic. This was Jose Maria Lopez halfway along lap 1, desperately getting by Tom Coronel.
Tommy's car didn't look mega quick there, and as I say, we saw that in the middle sector yesterday in qualifying, so didn't expect that to happen quite so quickly for Tommy, but he's still holding a good P3, and you know, Loeb is not giving too much pressure to Tommy. Lopez is just locked up a little bit there. Brakes are going to get hotter now. The brakes are going to get hotter, and that's going to make it more and more difficult every lap. You might see the odd car going straight on there, so that could be a possible overtaking opportunity.
Well, that's exactly what we have seen. That was Jose Maria Lopez just out of the corner of your shot. You did see him lock up, and he went straight through the chicane.
I saw him lock up on the way in. I didn't see that happen, but that's a costly mistake. It's a costly mistake, and he'll be very annoyed, and Ivan will have a big smile on his face right now.
You got to zigzag through there nice and quickly to come back out in front of your rivals, and he didn't. Tom Coronel got by him into second place, and Sebastian Loeb, not only was he not catching Tom Coronel last lap, he's had a massive drop back. He was within a second of Coronel. He's now at least 3 behind, and Coronel has got Lopez behind him.
Great.
Tommy is going to get on the podium here unless he throws the car off the road. What a great first race he's having. And actually the camera showing he's backed off that rear wing a lot compared to qualifying. You could see all of the DHL sponsorship in qualifying. You can't see any of it now from that straight on view.
So yeah, Loeb's going to be eating Tommy Coronel's dust, one of his favourite mottos, but I don't know how strong Tommy's going to be and if he's going to be able to hold him back. He's having a look, but Tommy's good. What's Tommy got? Something loose on the car, like a door seal or something.
Around on the windscreen
and
strip.
on the back left there's a little bit of body damage as well. Tommy's
that will have been the first contact with Loeb, won't it?
Yeah,
and the tyre stack.
correct. I don't think he's got real serious body damage, so that's not going to cause any drag or anything. Looks like you know, Lopez I made a mistake, or the brakes are dropping off a little bit, and you know, it's Citroen's first year. They're going to be new to every track they're arriving at, and you know, every track is unique and throws unique challenges. So let's see how this race unfolds. We've got the Wiley Fox, Ivan Muller leading, and as I say, he's going to have a pretty big smile on his face right now. Yeah, he looks in his mirror, there's no more Lopez, and in the distance he can see that it's not a grey and white car, so it's somebody else. Great. Yep. It's another couple of points. It is, yeah. Here's Tom's Chilton. Still having a go here. Wants to try a deeper line to try and come up the inside into the last but one corner, but lost too much time. That didn't work. That didn't work, and you know, Thiago's nice and defensive on the way in there, and actually comes out of the hairpins quite well. So Tom seems to fall back a little bit in the corner through loss of aero, and then gain in the slipstream. Very tough. See what else is happening. The last couple of times we've seen this shot, it's not been Chilton on his own. Banani is now right on Chilton's boot lid, and right behind him is Tarquini, and right behind him is Mikulits. So they are all over the back of Chilton as he's trying to get by Montero. So he can't make too many wild moves, otherwise he'll find a Honda inside him. Absolutely, and one guy you don't want in your rearview mirror is Gabriele Tarquini, because you know, he's quite a tough racer. And it ran a bit wide on the exit. More dust there, yeah. Somebody kicking up the dust on the exit. Did anybody lose ground? We've seen Morbidelli come through, so maybe it was him that kicked up the dirt, but nobody dropped out of the queue. Muller and Coronel 4 seconds apart. Lopez and Loeb. Loeb seems to be reinvigorated. He's now right on the back of Coronel and Lopez. And there is Rob Huff. He just got past René Munich. He's repassed Munich's Chevrolet to get back into 11th place. And there is René Munich right behind the second of the black cars, Gianni Morbidelli's teammate, of course. Yeah, Morbidelli still struggling around P10. Obviously, Munich just goes right by in the Chevy. Of course, that's what Rob Huff was doing in the factory Chevy a couple of seasons ago here, being able to pull out and just breeze by people. Yeah, that Chevy's been awesome for many years now, and obviously with the change of regs, you know, they don't have the factory support, but they've got RML, which is a tremendous team. You know, they know everything about touring car racing, and they'll get the maximum out of it, but they just don't have the factory support to go all the way at the moment, which is a shame, because it'd be lovely to see Chevy back and winning like they have done in the past. Muller leads, Tom Coronel's blue Chevy in second place, Lopez and Loeb right behind him, then fifth place is Thiago Montero, and that battle is 4 seconds still behind Sebastian Loeb. So this is for the podium. Coronel second, Lopez third, number 37, and Loeb fourth, and he has dropped back. So Coronel and Lopez are both picking up speed compared to Sebastian Loeb. Yeah, and you know, between P5 and sort of P9, you've got just under 2 seconds. So that's going to be interesting to see what develops there. But Loeb's struggling a little bit. Lopez is going to be furious about his little off, and he's going to be squeezing as much as he can, and I think Tommy's going to be making it as wide as possible. So end of lap 11 of 15 here in Austria, 4 to go. Ivan Muller still the race leader. Tom Coronel under pressure from Jose Maria Lopez, end of lap 11. So 4 to go after this.
And Andy Prio, this is a real cat and mouse game. This is like almost like oval racing in America, isn't it? It's about just wearing away your opposition and waiting for that little glimmer of daylight.
And staying in the slipstream, not losing a single 0.01 of a kilometre an hour in the slipstream. Tommy's going to be squeezing that, you know, he's under pressure now. You know, in that car, he is forcing everything he possibly can. He's a ball of energy, and you know, Thiago as well. To be fair, he's had a pretty tough race. He's got, you know, 6 very good guys in his mirror. Haven't seen a mistake from him yet, and he's held his position. So, you know, these guys are all pros, and in this situation, they show their class.
3 weeks ago in the Hungaroring, Montero got a 2nd place and a 3rd, so we have already seen his ability to defend a position against all comers this year very successfully. Still working on Hugo Ballon's car. Notice that Dusan Borkovic has come back out of the pits, so he'll be hoping that his car is healthy for race 2. And so will Ivar Muller, who is romping away here.
He really is. Yeah, he's having a really perfect race, Ivan. You know, I'd like to see a bit more. He's having a look now at the inside. Go on, Tommy, close the door, good boy. Yeah, Tommy's going to be working really hard. A nice P2 would be great for him today. Still 3 laps to go, but, you know, the Citroen's clearly faster, and I think Tommy's got his hands full. It's just going to be a matter of time before he gets picked off, I think, to be honest.
The only thing there in turn 9 is that Lopez knows if he touches Coronel, Coronel's going to have the mother and father of all shunts. That's going to be a huge one, and Lopez knows that. And Andy, as a racing driver, you want to get past, but you know you've got responsibility. In that corner especially, you've got responsibility for the guy in front. If you touch him, you are really putting him in jeopardy.
You are, but if you had a Tarquini in your mirror, he wouldn't care about that. You know, he obviously wouldn't be crazy stupid, but he would also let you know he's there. I think Lopez is giving Tommy a little bit of breathing space, but, you know, as he sees Ivan slipping away, I mean, Lopez knows it's a P2 or a P3, and I'm sure he's going to pick him off, to be honest. It's a matter of time.
Definitely, if he can, he'll take those points.
Yeah, the car looks strong, you know, and Tommy's really defending really hard, and it just takes a bit of front tyre deg. Brakes not feeling at their best, and you know, there he's having another challenge. But, you know, sector 2, Tommy's not been mega strong, so it means that Lopez can get closer and closer in the slipstream. You see he's just locked up there. He's suffering, but I hope he pulls it off for Tommy's sake. I really do.
Well, if he ends up on the podium, as seems very likely, either in 2nd or 3rd, he's going to be absolutely jubilant. Really finding, you know, after years of racing the BMW, you were talking to him yesterday and he was saying it's not the same, you don't feel the same passion, the same excitement of driving a rear drive car. You can't slide it around and move it around. He loved all that, but, you know, if your car's quick, you hate it a bit less.
Oh, yeah.
You love it a bit more.
Absolutely, you know, you see everything through rose-tinted glasses when you're winning, everyone's patting you on the back, and sometimes you drive your best races and your P12, the car's not been good enough, and there's nobody in the awning at the end of the race, and it's like you're a nobody again. So, yeah, the BMW is a great car to drive in terms of fun. It's edgy, it's rear-wheel drive, but unfortunately in World Touring car, you need a front-wheel drive car to be competitive with the rules the way they are. So Tommy misses the BMW, and I would be the same, to be honest. It's been, you know, a lot of fun driving the 320 SI. Bit of traffic now. Now this would be interesting for Tommy, coming up, you know, up against some traffic. If he meets him at just the wrong point, he could get balked, and Lopez could benefit from that situation. So Tommy's got this, you know, Lopez all over him now. He's really big in the mirrors, and again he's having a look. Inside, outside, Tommy's just defending.
Yep.
He's got to come out of here well, give himself a bit of breathing space to get a run into turn 1.
Middle of the road is what's going to do it, make the other guy go the long way around the outside. Lopez didn't have the grip to do it there. Low behind, still can't get in on the fray. There's Jose's girlfriend. And right in front, Pasquale Di Sabatino in the BMW and John Philippi in that little Campos Racing Seat. And Coronel has got to get by Pasquale into the chicane. And Di Sabatino is going to back off and let them all go. He's not catching Philippi. He's not going to ruin a front runner's race because of that.
No,
Tom's
not intentionally.
Tom's got to be careful with that chicane. If he hits it too hard or touches those tyre stacks, then all bets are off.
Well, Tom's just got to come out turn 5 really well to give himself a few meters on the exit to reduce the chances of a pass into turn 9.
Thiago still under pressure from Chilton as well for fifth place.
Again, you can see Tom either choosing to take a slightly wider line or suffering from understeer on the way in. It's, you know, the brakes get, you know, less and less performant, the front doesn't turn. You just lose the edginess of the car, and you have to change the way you drive. You have to turn in a bit earlier with a bit more anticipation, a little bit more control, wait for the exit, and, you know, it requires a different discipline as the race unfolds.
Well, unless his tyre goes pop, and we've had that before here in Salzburg, if Muller will win this, the question is who's going to be second, who's going to be fifth. Montero's Honda ahead of the black and white Chevy of Chilton, still fifth and sixth. It is going to be victory for Ivan Muller. He inherited pole position, but he didn't inherit the win. He ran away and hid at the front while everybody else battled on. He wins round 9 of the championship. Behind him, it is going to be second place for Tom Coronel, third for Jose Maria Lopez, fourth for Sebastian Loeb, and behind them, coming up through the back markers, let's see the battle behind for Montero and Chilton. Montero gets through, but there was Di Sabatino and Filippi almost in the way. So in fact, very little change in position after the first couple of laps, Andy. You have got to really work hard on this track to force the issue with your rivals.
You do. It all happens in turn 1 and off the start by the looks of it. And great job by Tommy Coronel. Had to, you know, tip my cap to Tommy. Ivan's closed the gap again to Lopez, so he's got a better qualifying, better race 1. Let's see this unfold in race 2. That's when serious stuff's going to happen, I would say, into turn 1.
Well, the other thing about the first race, of course, is you know there is another race to come. You've got to keep your car in one piece. We'll see what having the faster cars further back in race 2 will do.
But Martin, they know.
Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz.
Ivan Muller congratulates his Citroën crew and celebrates with them. There's baby daughter and his girlfriend Justine. A great race for Ivan Muller. He now moves ahead of Sebastian Loeb for the first time in the championship into second place. Closes a few points on Jose Maria Lopez, whose third place keeps him in command of the championship, but shake of the head with him. He'll want to get those brakes sorted out. Little smile. He knows perhaps it might have been a driver error. Maybe he just wound the brake balance to the front of fraction too much and caused the lockup, or brake to fraction too late behind Coronel and caused the lockup. If I'm going to check under the car, even when you're leading the race by 4 seconds, you tend to hear things. The cars now go into parc fermé, which means they're not allowed to be touched until the 15-minute preparation period before race 2. Doesn't stop them thinking about it, planning what they're going to do based on what the data has said and what the drivers have said. So the engineers will know exactly what they need to do in that 15 minutes, whether it's minor or major, just fuel and tyres and a wash and brush up, or whether it needs a lot of work, diff changes, suspension changes, comprehensive rebuild. Pachito there talking to his engineer. Incidentally, with the grey hair and the glasses, that's the man from Fox Sports South America who is responsible for all the Fox Network TV coverage down there. So he's the man that's done the deal for coverage. Well, let's get down to hear from our race winner, Ivan Muller, here in Austria.
Well, Ivan Muller, a fantastic result, a win here at Salzburg. You must be absolutely delighted. A perfect race for you.
Yeah, perfect race. My start was not perfect, but good. And then Sebastian was a little bit fast on the 2 first laps, but I knew it. So I stayed just focused on my drive. And then I knew lap after lap, my car will be better, so I was quite confident.
Yeah, you were getting further and further away. Were you aware of Lopez going off at T1? Did that take the pressure off you?
I didn't see that, to be honest. I was too focused on the front of my car.
Good for you. Congratulations. Well done.
Well, focused on the front of his car. Now, you can take that two ways. Either focused on what was in front of his car, or maybe worrying about something he was trying to check underneath. Well, Tom Coronel in second place. There's Jose Maria Lopez. He's in third. He might have lost 5 points to Ivan, but I don't think he'll worry. Let's hear from our TC2 winner, Franz Engstler.
Yes, TC2 winner Franz Engstler. Congratulations, what a result.
Yeah, thank you so much to my team, to all my fans. Here is my home race. I started 26 years ago. Here, my first Formula 3 race on Salzburgring. It's such a beautiful day, such a beautiful track, such a beautiful fans. What do you want more?
And you have lots and lots of people here supporting you. You must be absolutely delighted.
Of course, of course. Everything here is so fine. The racetrack is really special. I had a great car. My team did a great job. Thanks a lot to all, and I hope the next race will be the same.
Well done, Franz. A worthy winner.
Well, from Bavaria, which is just across the border, some 20 miles away from here, you'll be back in Bavaria, and there is no permanent racetrack there, so he is on his home track. Of course, Singen used to be used in the DTM, street circuit, airfield circuits, and so on, but the last Bavarian racetrack was Solitude, which went out of operation around the same time that this track was opened in 1969. Well, Jose Maria Lopez and Tom Coronel swapping congratulatory stories and, you know, catching up on what happened. Oh, what happened to you? You just shot off through the thing? Yeah, okay, brakes, blah, blah, blah. Nice, clean battle. As we spoke about earlier, Lopez knew every time he had a little think about lunging inside Coronel, he was very much responsible for Coronel's safety and his own at that stage, and the man on the outside in corner 9-10 is always going to be the one who's really in jeopardy if there is contact, because there's no question he would not be able to get the car back under control. Franz Engstler, not lapped by the field as he takes victory in the TC2 class. So he'll be going back after the podium to chat to all the guests here from Liqui Moly, and they have been working with him, not quite since he came here 32 years ago in Formula 3, but for a very long time. Well, the big story overnight is the work to get Hugo Vallant and his wrecked car and Dusan Borkovic, his teammate, back out on the grid. Both starting, both cars still with issues, and I imagine the team will be working on them non-stop to try and at least give them a race. There's Engstler getting ready to perform in front of a partisan audience here. Great start from Tom Coronel. Jose Maria Lopez picked up third place as a result of Sebastian Loeb perhaps defending a couple of yards too long into the first corner. Lopez then outbraking himself, dropped back down into third. Chilton never quite got by Thiago Montero, and Coronel also defending like Billy-O to hold back Lopez and seal second place, his best result of the season. Pachito worked very hard but just couldn't get by, and Ivan Muller, convincing victory, ran away from the rest of the field as they had their own battles. He just drove fast. Well, there is Andy down with Tom. He's going to be presenting the prizes for our podium finishers and will then join me back in the commentary booth in just a few moments. And just so thrilled to have three-time world champion Andy Priaulx back in the paddock and also in the Eurosport commentary booth. Jose Maria Lopez, Tom Coronel and Ivan Muller on the podium, and Franz Engstler, the Yokohama Trophy winner from TC2. So to start the podium ceremonies, first we will have the anthem of our winning driver, Ivan Muller. And for the winning manufacturer Citroën, so congratulations to Ivan. Adds another notch to the bedpost, yet another race win in his illustrious World Touring Car career. So to present the trophy to our third place driver, Jose Maria Lopez, three-time World Touring Car Champion, once European Touring Car Champion, Andy Priaulx. For second place, Tom Coronel, who doesn't love an underdog. And Tom Coronel, one of the smiliest faces in the paddock, no question about that. Look at that. If he'd won Monaco in Formula One, I don't think he could smile more. And from a three-time champion to a four-time champion, congratulations to Yvan Muller. And now the trophy for the winning manufacturer, Total Citroën Racing. The MD of the Salzburg Ring here, presenting the trophy. There must be a rota, definitely, in Citroën Racing for who's going to receive the trophies at all of the races. And to present to a very much a local favourite, Franz Hengstler, the Yokohama Trophy, VP of Yokohama Europe, Katsu Sekiguchi. So congratulations, well done again, Franz Hengstler. His local track is one of his all-time favourite tracks, Franz. And a lot of very happy fans and sponsors here as well. Well, Andy was saying yesterday just how nice it was to be back in the paddock, how welcoming and friendly everybody is. Nothing has changed from when he was racing, and it's been great to have him back. Everybody very, very delighted to see him back here. So he's going to go and meet the other world champions. So we will uniquely have all our World Touring Car Champions back in the paddock again. And then we will both be commentating here for race 2. Round 10 of the championship. We'll be back up at 1:30 local time. That is 12:30 British Summer Time, 11:30 GMT. So wherever you are, across Europe, North and South America, Australasia, the Pacific, please join us for that. Round 10 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Until then, from Alex Legui and Ben Costanduros, from Andy Priaulx, myself, Martin Haven, from all the World Touring Car television crew here in Salzburg, enjoy your day. We'll see you later. Bye.